Hi, welcome to new series of ReThynk AI. So far, we have provided you complete AI solution for 40 different topics. And thank you so much for your support that these solutions, complete AI solutions, are getting known globally. So far, one of the solution is working really fine and getting reach known in United States of America, Germany, Canada, Australia, Spain, Mexico, India, Italy, Netherlands, France, and then there are many more countries. This is just one example. There are people who say that you need millions of followers, millions of subscribers to make a change. But ReThynk AI is an example which shows that you need a good heart, command over your subject, and you must have a passion to make this world a better place. If you have all these commitment and values, then definitely you can make this world a better place. So today we are coming up with new series, and this new series is really valuable. We are now looking to provide a complete solution for many more problems which are affecting the society. Or you can say now we are at ReThynk AI getting to the next stage or next step where we are working to make this world a better place. And now I have a vision, okay, a new India vision where we are going to prevent crowd disasters with AI-powered intelligence. Basically, let's imagine a zero stampede nation. So far, government of India, Indian policymakers, ministers are working really hard to prevent any type of public disaster, crowd disasters. So this is the time for us to add our values and solve the problem completely. This is dedicated to Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Ministers, and the policymakers and the law enforcement agencies. They all are working continuously to ensure India will become a zero stampede nation. This photo credit has been taken from DD News. Why this matter, first of all? Why, in the end, after getting all these reach and love and care, why I am entering into this particular topic instead of thinking about the next, innovation or breakthrough idea? Then this thing matters a lot. Let's go with the numbers. In last 2 decades, from 2000 to 2020, stampede incidents in India resulted in over 3,000 recorded deaths. Over 3,000 recorded deaths. Out of all, 70% were men, while 30% were women. The information source, this data is collected and documented by National Crime Record Bureau, a division of Indian Ministry of Home Affairs. So this data is authentic and has been properly monitored and documented. So 3,000 recorded death. 70% were men, and while 30% were women, including, let's take the example of recent Stampede. RCB IPL celebration Stampede. What happened is Royal Challenger Bangalore won the IPL tournament of this year. And then they decided to have a celebration parade or celebration gathering in Bangalore. But that RCB IPL celebrations ended at a stampede, which caused or led to 11 deaths. So, the one thing which is surprising, or why this matter even, these are preventable tragedies caused by chaos, not crime. So whenever you read about stampede, whenever you, not only in India but around the world, you know that I always look into things from global perspective. Stampede are never caused by crime, but they are always caused by chaos, confusion, or misinformation. So that's why it's such a big topic for me personally. This is common in events, gatherings, and public celebrations. Stampedes kill hundreds in India every decade. And when we look from the global perspective, there have been many stampedes throughout the world. So what is the real problem? Basically, let's look into the real problem. Let's look into the data. Let's say you have capacity of these many people at any particular event. Let's say you have capacity of 1,000 people to show up at any event, but the turnout is 20,000. It means 20 times. So I would like to ask you a question. If the turnout is already 20 times or 50 times or 10 times, how law enforcement agencies or policymakers are going to make the necessary arrangements? Because at this point, the public infrastructure often fall short to provide the necessary arrangement. What if you have capacity of 5,000 people, but there are 50,000 turnout? Still, it will become unmanageable. Earlier, the data was 20 times. Now it's only 10 times. What if you have capacity of 35,000 people, but 3 lakh people show up in the event? Actually, this was happened in Bangalore Stampede after IPL victory celebration. So let me show you how it show up at the ground level. Let's say you have this much of capacity, which is 35,000, and you have turnout of 3 lakh people, which is already 8 times. So let's say this is 35,000. Now let me show you the number of 8 times. Actually, you have this much of capacity, but you have this much of turnout. So how law enforcement agencies or policymakers are going to manage it? That's what exactly happened in Bangalore. The police system, the policymakers did their best, but the turnout was a huge in number. So the real problem is the uncontrolled crowd turnout. No attendance limits or planning. How can you make such a planning? I have basically been in government service in India, and now I am here to manage the management as well. I'm seeing the depth of artificial intelligence and the way our traditional systems work at ground level. So if you have this much of turnout, how are you going to manage that at the ground level? What if capacity is always overshot? No registrations of open events. So what happens when I was studying all this data and the data about many different stampede, actually there was no registration. So when there was no registration, so there was no estimation. And when there was no estimation of people turnout, there was no actual planning. Because remember, if you don't have the data, no matter who you are, even if you are an artificial intelligence, you can't make the plan or you can't do the proper planning about it. Then what happens? Once you have uncontrolled turnout, it leads to miscommunication and misinformation. No structured entry info, panic due to confusion or rumors. So basically, I have told you in the beginning that stampede happens because of chaos, not because of crime. So let's envision. We envision an India where no life is lost due to a preventable stampede. AI will lead the way in predicting, preventing, and protecting crowd. So that's basically a vision, and typically it's possible if we connect, the human values and our knowledge of artificial intelligence. Basically, what we are trying, bureaucrats, policymakers, and law enforcement agencies are already working at the ground level. Now it's trying to add more ideas to ensure there will be no stampede. So what is the core solution? The core solutions comes in 5 different steps. First, it's an AI-powered crowd management system. So what will happen eventually? How we are going to ensure? The first step is ensure the smart registration. Even if your event is free, even if your event is open event for anyone to come and participate, still you must have smart registration. Then once you have smart registration, then you can decide the entry barriers. Soon after this slide, we are going to discuss more about the entry barrier. Next, real-time crowd monitoring. Okay, until you have the real-time data, about the people and their presence, how can you have real-time crowd monitoring? Next, complete detail access. Next, AI-powered alert and communication. So by having this five-step system, we can ensure zero stampede. So how it works actually? The core solution is AI-powered crowd safety system. First step is smart registration plus entry control. Then real-time crowd monitoring. Third, instant alert and communication. Fourth, predictive risk analysis. Let's now go in depth about all these steps and thought processes. The problem with open events, it often happens. The problem with open events get a large population turnout. Let's say you are having a gathering, which is an open event, and you have a capacity of 1,000 people, 10,000 people, but 1 lakh people have turnout. So how are you going to ensure the safety? How are you going to provide the proper transportation, communication, and basic facilities like water facilities? Or in case of emergency, how are you going to ensure medical health services at such a large scale within a short period of time? That's not possible, basically. And it gets out of control. So often it's going to happen if you have turnout of 8, 10 times probably. And this often happens around the world when a particular team win an event or match, let's say it's World Cup or FIFA Cup or Euro Cup, then these things happen often. The available infrastructure often fell inadequate. It's not happening just in underdeveloped country, but it happens in developing countries and developed countries as well. If the bureaucrats or authorities don't have the information of coming crowd, then they will not be able to manage or make the available resources at bare minimum available time. So if public turnout is 8 to 10 times of the maximum capacity, then no government, no policymakers or law enforcement agency will be able to handle the situation. So what is my suggestion at the initial stage of discussion or implementation? The core is that we should make all open and free event registration mandatory, even for free and open events. I'm repeating again, even for free and open events, because the first challenge is how are we going to ensure the safety, or how are we going to ensure the arrangement if we don't know how many people are going to show up in this particular event? Once you have mandatory registration, then you can get actually idea of how many people are going to show up. Next, we will get exact information about the footfall. Initially, what is my suggestion? What is my thought leadership? Practically at the beginning, initially we should allow registration, which is 5% more than the capacity. Let's say you have 10,000 possible capacity, then allow only 5% people more than the capacity. Or let's take the example of Bangalore Stampede. There were the capacity of 35,000 people. What if they have given the permission only to 35,000 people plus 5%? So that the law enforcement agency will be able to handle the situation. So why this extra 5% at the initial stage? Let's say you have capacity of 10,000 people. You have capacity of 10,000 people, and then extra 5%, which is 500. So basically you have given to 10,500 permission to 10,500 people. So what will happen eventually? A few percent are not going to turn up because of some emergency, or maybe something else has come up, some meeting has come up. So in the end, you will have a net turnout of 10,000 people, which is equal to your total capacity. And in case of Bengaluru, you have 35,000 capacity. So 35,000 plus 5%. That will be your actual registration. And in the end, only 35,000 people are going to show up. Why this number is necessary at initial stage, we will discuss it in the coming slide. Now let's look by step overflow of the entire structure or event. First step, pre-registration for attendees. Not only the attendees, but if there is the event organizers are coming up with some celebrities, or they are coming up with some influencers who can bring his own audience. Then QR code based digital entry. This is mandatory. We will discuss it within a fraction of a minute. Crowd flow prediction via artificial intelligence. This is basically step-by-step workflow, and I will discuss the flow chart in a bit. Real-time camera monitoring, dynamic alert and communication, panic detection, and auto escalation. So how it will work? First step is pre-registration. Those who are organizing the event, they give the details about the event, and there is just registration, pre-registration. Yes, it's still free. It's open to all, but there is pre-registration. And when it's pre-registration, you give QR code or unique identification number via SMS to every person who has got registered. It will create your database. What will happen eventually when you have a pre-registration? You will get the detail of or idea about the total possible turnout of audience. So what I'm saying, additional details, when someone is registering, it's pre-registration, they will get the QR code plus unique identification number. With this, we can give them additional details like their gate entry number. What if there is they are getting an entry in a stadium where have 8 possible gates or 4 possible gates? So it's good we give them their gate entry number in the beginning during the time of registration. Then seat number. If there is a particular seat allotment, then we can give them the seat number as well. Then third step, we can give them the details of essential carry, maybe some documents, maybe your passport or any government ID proof which has been issued by government. And then we can provide them the details of facilities that will be available, like nearest car parking, which is very necessary. If 10,000 people or 10 lakh or lakh people are turning up, and you give the car parking details in advance, like the nearest car parking will be 1 mile away, and then you have to pick the taxi, or you have to pick the shuttle service, then it will be really great for all the attendees. And where will be the food courts? Next, during the time of entry. During the time of entry, you are going to have the QR scan. In case someone has no smartphone, then you can enter the unique identification number and ensure that the person is getting the entry from the right gate number, and they are reaching to the right seat numbers to minimize the queues and confusion. Once you have started taking QR scan or unique identification number, it will build your database actually on the spot. And then if they are coming up with family members and they have registered for family members as well, then you can ensure that they all get the entry from the same gate numbers, and then they get the same seat numbers which are nearby. It will reduce the confusion in family members as well. So far we have been doing all these things to create the database. Remember, artificial intelligence is really powerful, but it works only when it gets the actual data. Once you have done the pre-registration and you have given the entry according to their enrollment or registration, now it's time to provide them all the necessary information and alert communication. So instant message access. Let's say why the queues of confusion happen? Because suddenly there is a change in the schedule. Suddenly a particular speaker who was turning up, or a public figure who was about to turn up, is not turning up, and he has been replaced by someone else. Or there is a change in the schedule. Or most importantly, there is some VVIP movement at the last moment. So in that case, you can give the instant message access. Whenever there is confusion or change in any schedule, give them the message immediately and let the message broadcast in bulk via both traditional SMS and that their WhatsApp number plus the email ID which they have given at the time of registration. So once there is any schedule, so instead of falling into rumor, they will get the exact information. Then if any last minute change, additional info, they get access it without falling for noise or rumors. Plus, here we can have AI-powered API question answer system as well. In case we are providing you all the details in a step-by-step manner, but in case if you have any question, so you can ask via our WhatsApp account, or you can ask via the SMS, where we will give you, the answers which are totally true or factually true according to the event organizer instead of the public rumor falling on social media. So it will ensure a complete step-by-step, error-free entry to proper alert communication. And once the event has been completed, let the exit from the same gate number. So why this is so much necessary? In case there is an emergency, we can, let's say we have 8 different gates for entry in the stadium. So in case any emergency, we can keep at least one gate free for emergency units, whether it's firefighters, police officers, law enforcement agencies, or health emergency. Anything can happen in any particular event. I remember one particular statement by a philosopher that if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. Yes, in life, we all have been taught to, hope for the best and prepare for the best. But life never works like that. In life, always remember if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong, and we should prepare for the worst case scenario, not for hope for the best. No, always prepare for the worst case scenario. So then, let's say you have any emergency, you have the proper gate entry for emergency unit as well to avoid all the confusion and chaos and rumors. Then if you have any VVIP movement or any VVIPs coming and you have to make the necessary security arrangement according to their protocol, then you can have a separate gate for them as well. It will keep everything calm, everything normal, and everything well organized. So this is step-by-step workflow of the entire event. Now let's talk about the implementation or roadmap. I have talked about initial stage. So at initial stage, stakeholder alignment is required. When you are testing this idea, when you are working on, putting this idea on the ground floor, you need stakeholder alignment, like basically police or law enforcement agency plus event organizing committee, so that they can have proper communication. Then you need platform setup and registration launch, where you are actually going to register. You have your pre-registration. You can create one website where you have the complete registration, or if required, you can give it a structure of a startup as well. That basically there is a startup that do the pre-registration, that do all the initial scanning and database management and providing the necessary instant messages access. So it's possible in both ways, like creating a website for public registrations or building it as a startup. So once you have platform setup and registration launch, then next is integration of QR code or cloud logic configuration, where you ensure people get the flawless data messages and all the details. Next, at advanced stage, you can have AI camera plus alert integration. The last step is once you have starting with this idea to ensure zero stampede dry run with simulations at initial stage. That's why I said you should have only 5% above the maximum capacity, so that in the end you still have 100% turnout and you can manage it accordingly, and you can test all your tools at the initial stage. Once you have tested, right, then you can have changes in numbers of maximum capacity according to the stakeholders alignment. At advanced stage, we can use AI model like YOLO, LSTM, IoT devices like sensor gates, thermal monitoring. Yes, thermal monitoring can be a great way, but it's topic of advanced level. Then communication, SMS API, WhatsApp Business API, which we have already discussed. And then you can have cloud infra, AWS, and secure, scalable. Or you can have edge computing as well. Edge computing I have already discussed in one video. So if you want to learn more about edge computing, you can check this particular YouTube channel. Then data privacy, you can with minimal data and government policies, we can ensure data privacy as well. So this is the last slide is basically the workflow, and this slide is the implementation part. Whether you build it as a just a platform where everyone who is organizing an open event, they can register, or you can build it as a paid startup. But ensure don't allow people without their QR code or unique identification numbers, unique entry numbers. And once you have done all these implementation roadmap testing, you can do the live implementation. And then these are optional. So in case, let's say there is a big event, something has happened, some team has won the World Cup, or some team has won the Olympic medals, or you are now expecting huge turnout. You already have the system which is earlier tested and deployed. Now you can have more, procedures with the help of artificial intelligence, like mock-up of entry scanning screen. Then you can ensure live density heat maps or GPS system. Let's say, now let's have a stimulation of the entire event. Let's say this is the entire stadium. Okay, and this stadium has 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8 different entries. Okay, this stadium is not just a small area like a room, or like we enter in board meetings, right? Or policymakers have the meeting in ministries. In ministries or in policy making or in board meetings, I love board meetings. Or when you go for pitching, business pitching for VCs, okay, venture capitalists, then we actually have our meetings in a very small area, which is enough for 8, 10, 20 people. But when these type of events happen, they happen in an area which can be up to, hundreds of meters. So let's say the gate number 1 is only for a VVIP movement. Okay, great. Gate number 2 is kept open for the emergency unit. It's like healthcare units. Okay, the 3rd gate is open for the entry for common public. The 4th gate is enter, and then you have all the gates open for public, because you have already made all the arrangement for prior VVIP protocols and security transitions, and then you have ensured the public's emergency safety as well. Now this stadium is, let's take another color. Now this entire stadium is in particularly, let's say, hundreds of meters. So in that case, and when it's an advanced stage, or we are expecting turnout like 3 lakh people, then we can activate the GPS system as well. Let's say you are at here and one of your family member is here. In that case, what we can ensure, we can, instead of creating chores or rumors, we can just track the GPS of our family members. Right? Or in case someone is sitting on the pole opposite. Okay. then we can have the access of GPS system as well. And in that case, once we have the GPS, their registration number, their QR code scan, plus all their data with the numbers of people have shown up in that particular group and their GPS system location, we can create a dashboard alert as well for them. And then we can have WhatsApp push update view, where we can have individual message transmission plus a group gathering as well, where just organizers send all the important messages. So it will ensure the complete safety for the people, as it has already been tested. Artificial intelligence is really amazing, but you need in-depth knowledge to connect the different domains. I have studied more than 1,500 books, and I have mastered maybe 20, 25 different subjects. That's why I can solve these complex problems which are beyond the thinking of common human beings. Okay, that's why I love artificial intelligence. So what will be the long-term impact of it? We can ensure safer India, zero stampedes, and once it get tested, we can set it as an example for the global audience as well, or the global law enforcement agencies as well. What will happen? It will rebuild public trust. Remember, when a stampede happened, it hurt the country's reputation as well. It will be a blueprint for crowd safety globally. Remember, in recent times, when I study the data, India has sent different Indian government policymakers and law enforcement agencies, ministries have created many standard benchmark. Like one is in payment system. India's payment system is literally world class. You can transfer the payment within a fraction of a second, and the possibility of making any possible error is almost equal to zero. Remember, I have been sending payment for last couple of years, and I have never had even a single wrong payment transfer. Okay, then India is already working in the field of artificial intelligence, and I have already shared with you when we can expect India's next LLM model. After having this, it will position India as a global model in public AI ethics as well, because if you can ensure public safety for so many people and data privacy for so many people, it will definitely become a benchmark or crowd safety blueprint for the whole world to follow. So what is my final message? This is one of the depth topic which took me literally weeks to prepare. Yeah, which literally took me weeks to prepare. So what is my final message? This one system can save hundreds of lives. Okay, and it's very necessary. One vision can protect the faith of millions. It's not just about avoiding the stampede. It's about restoring the faith of millions of Indians and people around the world. So let's make India a zero stampede nation. Right? And let's hope this video reaches to Honorable Prime Minister or the policymakers or the law enforcement agencies who are going to look into this comprehensive study where everything has been discussed without any promotion or affiliate marketing. I never believe in affiliate marketing or promotion. And I'm really happy that there are literally millions of YouTube channels and millions of creators in the world, and still use 660 people. Trust me, and it's my duty to ensure that I keep your faith restored, or I protect your faith. So I hope soon this video will reach to Honorable Prime Minister, policymakers, ministers, or law enforcement agencies, so we can ensure zero stampede nation, which is the vision in the beginning. With this video comes to an end. This lecture has been researched and prepared by team ReThynk AI, and this presentation has been made by Vista Live Data. They are our marketing partner, and this presentation has been presented by me. I am Jaideep Parashar, founder director of ReThynk AI, researcher, keynote speaker, and author. If you have any question, you have any idea, you can reach out to us. in the comment section. And till then, take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. And if you have any question, definitely reach out to me. Or if you have any idea where you want my input, please share with me and I will ensure I will check that as well. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend.